Welcome back, traders and investors. Today is January 4, 2022. Let's look at some charts. Look at the price action for today. Let's look at the S&P 500 first. Very choppy action. Nothing wrong with this chart. I mean, still in a big uptrend. Consolidating up here, but it looks like it's losing momentum to the upside. Like here, it made a new high, intraday reversed, and today new intraday high and reversed lower. I'll take a look at the 15-minute chart. The previous video, I mentioned that I expected some support around this area here, just above the 5-day moving average, and this 47.80. It did when it first sold off, bounced, and eventually dipped below that 47.80 and quickly bounced back, and it closed above all moving averages. So still bullish, but looks very choppy. For tomorrow, I would expect a lot of support between 47.90 and 47.75. Basically, if it dips below this line, which would be the low of yesterday, I think momentum will pick up to the downside. I would expect this to act as very heavy support. If this line fails, I think the next major support will be between 47.50 and 47.75. That zone was a previous all-time high a few weeks ago. Let's now take a look at the Nasdaq 100. Today was a big sell-off, very impulsive. It gapped slightly higher and quickly sold off. It was a very impulsive sell-off, breaking through major support levels. The only positive thing for today was a bounce off the 50-day moving average, but still this chart looks vulnerable. I think if it fails to hold that 50-day moving average, we can quickly see a test of the 100-day moving average down here, which is down here. Let's play it session by session. And I don't want to forget to mention that I got stopped out of my triple T, triple Q position early in the morning. If you recall, let's take a look at the chart, 15-minute chart, and see the price action for today. It gapped higher and quickly sold off. Look how aggressive the sell-off was. It broke to that below that support line, that moving average, support line, and I got stopped out around this area right here. It bounced off the 50-day moving average, the 200-day moving average, and now it closed around that level, 16,300. What do I expect for tomorrow? Let's take a look at the 60-minute chart. I'm not interested in buying anywhere between here and here. Here for tomorrow, I think this will be very, very heavy resistance. Basically, what should have been support today will be very heavy resistance tomorrow. For support, I think the last major support level will be 16,100. If it breaks that level, which will break the 50-day moving average, I think momentum can really pick up to the downside, and I'll be more bearish than bullish. But we'll play a session by session. Anyways, I got stopped out of my position, and I'm not interested in playing anything between these moving averages, which is where it's trading right now. If it pushes above this level, like I said, I'll be looking to buy. If it dips below this level, I'll actually consider shorting. We'll see what happens, which setup plays out. The Dow Jones. This is a daily chart of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. What's wrong with this chart? Nothing. I mean, higher highs has been in a very strong uptrend. The only bearish thing about this chart really is that it's too bullish, way above that short-term moving average, new all-time high. It looks very bullish, as bullish as you can be. This is a daily chart of the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index. This one, very similar price action to the Nasdaq 100. Very volatile. It's a very volatile day. Big sell-off in the morning, and he bounced and he closed off the lows. This one was very obedient. The previous video, I expected this to hold as a very heavy support around the 3,900. Was basically the 20-day moving average and that level right there, and actually held very well. Bounced off that level and it closed way above that level. Going forward, I think it's very choppy. Still nothing wrong with this chart. Very bullish, but it's just been a very bumpy ride. If you're a bull, that support should come into play the next session or two. Very important. If it breaks below that level, 3,900, expect a test of that 50-day moving average, which is down here. Anything between, I don't really see much support. So we'll see what happens. Look at the Russell 2000 ETF IWM. This one, it's kind of the same thing as yesterday. It's still trading below heavy resistance and above heavy support. But now it looks like it really wants to push above that 50-day moving average. It pushes above it intraday and quickly reverses lower. Going forward, I think the path of least resistance is to the upside. Now that all these moving averages are catching up, and it looks like it's finding very heavy support around that area. Let's take a look at the 50-minute chart. The hourly chart. That pattern still in effect. That inverse head and shoulder, or you can call this after this big move. You can just call that a bull flag. As you can see, this pattern is getting closer and closer to that heavy support level of 226. So between 226 and 228, and it's been riding that short day moving average. Now, this pattern will resolve very soon. I'll say in the next session or two. Is it really going to push above 228, or is it going to drop down below 224? 224 to 223. So I would expect volatility to pick up if it dips below 223, say 223, or once it pushes above 228. Quick summary, the indices look very mixed. Dow Jones, all-time highs, very bullish. S&P 500, kind of choppy, making new intraday highs. Nasdaq 100 was a very bearish day. Same for the Semiconductor Index. And the Russell 2000 is still holding very tight. Has been my analysis for January 4, 2022. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something. And good luck trading tomorrow.